Mayong buntag, magandang umaga, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You know, today we got December 11th. It is 9 in the morning. It's 81 degrees, man. So what we got going on, man? We're gonna do a year vlog. It's actually been 1 year since I've been here in the Philippines. So I thought I'd talk real quick about kind of what it's like been so far. I'll talk about the worst part, give you some tips, surprises that I've had, struggles that I've kind of seen others deal with, as well as what do I love about being here. So that's what the video is about. So let's jump right into it. Let's go into the worst part. Honestly, the worst part that I feel is kind of the preparation before coming here. I mean, that was kind of a big challenge. Selling my stuff, getting rid of my belongings, kind of getting things set up. That was kind of the worst part of it in the past year. But then the plane ride also, you know, it's long flight, right? 15 or so hours, you know, close to 30 hours total. So that was another thing. And really, the first month or two can also be a challenge, right? There's just a lot going on. You're getting yourself set up in a new country, you're adjusting to the time, the culture. So the first 2 months were a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, just getting out the lay of the land, seeing how things are, where to find your groceries, all that stuff. Figuring out how to transfer your money, kind of getting around, right? Yeah, the other kind of challenge, if I look over the past year, was finding a home, finding a place to live. You know, that could be a little bit challenging, right? Especially some of us, you're on a little bit of a time constraint. You know, maybe you've got a month or a week in your Airbnb. That could be a little challenge. Hey, sometimes noise pollution can be an issue. You got roosters, you got constructions, you got motorcycles flying by. You know, noise pollution has been kind of one of the worst parts about being here. What else do I got on my list? Yeah, it's a little bit of a slower pace out here, which, you know, can be a little bit of a challenge for some people. We're used to go, 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 go. And, you know, it's a slower pace out here. It can take you, you know, days or hours to get things accomplished that would take you minutes back in the United States or in the West. So a little bit of a slower pace. Yeah, so getting your money transfers, finding housing, the groceries, all that can be a little bit of an adjustment. Yeah, even adjusting to the time zone, right? That can be a little bit of a challenge when you first get here. In this next section here I want to talk about are just a couple of tips, right? So what are some of the things that you can do? What are some of the things that kind of can help you out? So yeah, so some tips on how to adjust to being here. So top of my list I've got is focus on the health, right? Really just kind of when you get here, focus on your health, stay hydrated. It's a hot, humid environment. You know, if you got a camel pack, bring a camel pack with you. You know, stay hydrated, right? Get your sleep schedule set up as soon as you can. You know, get where you're sleeping good. You're not getting up at 2 in the morning or whatever. You know, get your sleep schedule set up as soon as possible. That'll help out. You know, just relax and have some fun. Take your time, slow down. You know, another tip that I was thinking about here is just make friends ahead of time. You know, try to make those connections ahead of time. So maybe you're not walking into a country where you know nobody. You know, maybe, you know, online community groups. You can join ours. You know, especially if you're coming here to Cebu City. You can join our community group. Have a plan of what you're gonna do with your free time. Like, so your first couple months, you're gonna be busy running around, but what are you gonna do after that? What's your plan with your free time? You know, exercise, hobbies, what things are you gonna do? What are you gonna get into? So, next section I wanna talk about are, you know, like some of the surprises that I had. You know, one of them for me was the stray cats and dogs. That was something that shocked me a little bit, right? I wasn't kind of anticipating that. You know, you'll see dogs and cats kind of everywhere. Dogs with mange and, you know, just kind of real struggling, or you see, you know, sometimes I saw a dead kitten on the side of the road, right? So just that kind of thing can be a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, another one I remembered, not a big deal, and it doesn't happen too often, but naked adults. That was one that shocked me. You know, You know, I think maybe three or four different occasions now I've come across where there's just some naked adults and one grown man and a couple of females. So that was a shock, right? You're just not used to that, you know. And it's just, you know, the guy, and obviously they're mentally, you know, they're struggling, right? They're having challenges in life, whatever. So that was kind of hard to see and deal with. Hey, how's it going? So yeah, that was naked adults was definitely a shock. Open bathrooms and public urination. That was another one that really kind of got me. Which is honestly is kind of nice as a 50-year-old male who's trying to stay hydrated. I love the fact that I can kind of pretty much go anywhere I want to. You know, find a tree and you're good. So that was one of the surprises that I've had. Yeah, and the other surprise that I really had too, or one of the things that kind of stands out, is you really can get a good sense from YouTube what's going on, right? So if you're watching people, you're watching channels like mine or other guys, you can, especially vlogs like this, where people are kind of walking around and showing you. You really do get a good sense of what it's like, right? Those are kind of the surprises that I've had, but you know, as I'm meeting a lot of people, I've noticed others. So what are some of the struggles that I've noticed other people's have? So some guys struggle with the weather. They struggle with the heat and the humidity. Now, that has not been an issue for me, honestly. It really just, it hasn't been. Coming from Colorado, I don't know why. You would think the heat and humidity would bother me, but it really hasn't. The temperature here has been a non-issue for me, totally. You know, and I'm not sure why that is, but for others, I've definitely noticed heat and humidity has been an issue. Another thing I think I've seen other guys struggle with are kind of like the bugs and the critters. You know, if you're coming from a place in the West that has a hard freeze, you know, you're not used to the bugs that you're going to encounter here. And it does, it's different. It's a different way of kind of living too, where you have to be really mindful with your food and, you know, pretty much store everything in your refrigerator or your microwave. So yeah, that's something I've noticed other people struggle with. I lived in Florida for a while, so I was a little bit kind of familiar with that way of living. Yeah, and others I've noticed too have commented how they struggle with stray animals, and they just feel they're kind of uncomfortable by the dogs and the cats and that are running around, and just they kind of makes them sad or whatever, like they want to do something around that. The other thing I've noticed others struggle with are kind of the simpler accommodations that you can encounter here, especially when you're traveling. You know, you can come to a place that is just basically a room and a bathroom or a shower, and maybe the toilet is just a kind of just the seat and no water reservoir, right, where you dump water in to kind of flush it. So simple accommodations can be, or no hot water in the shower, where every place that I've stayed that didn't have that, it actually wasn't a deal. Like the water was actually warm enough. So, but that can bother some people, right? So the simpler accommodations, that could be a challenge that I've seen for others. Food. Some people struggle with the food, and I can see that a little bit, right? You don't necessarily have the options that you would in the West or even other countries here like Thailand, but you know, the food really isn't that bad. There is a lot of fried food, and there's a lot of food with sugar in it. So you just got to be careful with that and choose wisely, or do a lot of your own cooking. But if you do a lot of your own cooking and you shop at the markets and stuff, you know, you could probably eat healthier here, just because you have access to a lot of fresh produce. The other thing that I've seen others struggle with is in the world of dating. You know, there is a big, I believe, misconception about the dating here. I even had it, right? You get off the plane, you're going to be greeted by dozens of women. It's just not the case, gentlemen. It's really not. Yes, is it better than where we come from? Absolutely, dude. I mean, I got a beautiful 30-year-old girlfriend right now. It's just amazing, right? And that would not happen in the West. So it is great. It's not as easy as you think it is. You know, they're really, yes, do they want to date us and be with us? Absolutely they do. But they're also very cautious, and you just want to bring a careful, cautious game to that dating environment, right? You know, I can't stress it enough. I hear this a lot with guys. I know guys, I mean, for me, right? I didn't really date much the first 6 months I was here. So it's real. And I know another guy, he's been here, I don't even know, 2 or 3 months now, and he's not dating. So then I've met other guys that have been here for 2 months and they've dated more women than I have my entire life. So it's not everybody, but it is something that other people talk about. So what do I love about being here, right? What are some of the positive things? What do I love about being here? First of all, the main reason why I moved out here, financial freedom, right? I get financial freedom. I get to do what I want with my day, my time. I'm not working at a job, you know. Now granted, I did love what I did professionally in the United States, but you know, it was corporate America, and you know, anyone who's watched this channel for long enough know that I dealt with some horrible work environments, right? So financial freedom, having the freedom to do what I want with my time is just so incredibly valuable. And you can get that here. So it's inexpensive. The other thing that really had me come out that I love about being here is the friendliness of the people, man. I mean, it's just, you can't describe it. You just got to be here and experience it. But I invite you, when you're here, look at your interactions with the people. Look at how you're treated. Just so amazing, incredible. You know, everyone, you're walking down the street, people are like, hi, hello, how you doing? That kind of deal. And you know, another thing I love about being here is the beautiful scenery, the beautiful setting. Now, granted, I'm in a city environment right now, which I actually like the city, but you can get out to just some beautiful beaches and waters. Just absolutely stunning, right? So the beautiful scenery. And then the other thing I love about here is the dating and the environment that's here around dating. So I love that also. You know, as I was telling before, I have an incredible relationship that I would never find in the West, and that's very common here. You know, we have access to just really great dating here. And just, you know, some closing thoughts about my 1 year and kind of tips around that is I would just say, look, if you're coming out here, the main thing I would say is just relax, enjoy, relax, take your time, you know. Yeah, just take your time and try to enjoy the process, enjoy learning and discovering a new culture and a new way of living. So, all right guys, with that, I'm gonna wrap it up and close it up, but I just wanted to do a video on my 1 year in the Philippines. If you're not already, consider joining the community group that we've set up. We post events there. We do all kinds of things going on. We got other foreigners helping other foreigners with their posts and ideas. So consider joining that. So I'll put a link in the description. We'll see you guys.